What's up, everybody? It's the Common Sense Investor coming at you with another video. And in this video, we're going to talk about the new Rose Izzo motion that was filed in the court today, July 31st, 2023. The title of it is Rose Izzo's reply in support of the motion for maintaining the status quo order pending appeal. Now, what does that mean? That means she has asked the court to keep the status quo in place, meaning the reverse stock split and conversion would not happen if the judge approves the settlement, and that the status quo would stay there during appeal. And the reason for that is if the settlement goes through and a reverse stock split and conversion happens and then they appeal, the damage is done. So this motion is her argument that the status quo should stay, because they called her cavalier and all kind of great names concerning why she was wanting to keep the status quo in place. They even put a requirement that she would have to put up the amount of money that it would cost AMC over a quarter if she wished to keep the status quo in place. And let me tell you something, people. This motion right here spanks that ass, because she starts off with, Miss Izzo's preemptive request to maintain the status quo pending an appeal is efficient, not cavalier. The court should reject the settlement for numerous reasons. Now, she gives 4 reasons why the judge should not approve this settlement. All right. The first one includes a still overbroad release. Now, I'm not sure what she means by that, because I thought AMC fixed that problem for the judge, but apparently Miss Izzo and her lawyer see something else there with the release, that they believe that if it stays the way it is, then they will have an appeal case. The second reason, she says, is the lack of an opt-out, which means what they've tried to do, people, and what they do in all civil cases, is they will corral all the shareholders into one area, and then once the settlement happens, the release happens, and nobody inside that corral can sue again for any other reasons for fiduciary duty. That's what she's trying to stop in the second point. The third point she brings up is the adequacy of the representation, and that one is the bomb that they dropped today. She's telling the court that there are 4 reasons right now that if the settlement is approved, 1 was the release, 2 was the opt-out, and the 3rd was the adequacy of the representation. Let me ask you a question. Do you feel as if Allegheny has represented our best interest? Well, apparently neither does Rose Izzo and her attorney. All right? Add this little 3 words in this whole document says a whole lot. They're saying, look, if you approve this settlement with Allegheny as the lead plaintiff, the lead counsel, then that's going to be grounds for appeal, because they have been inadequate in their defense for AMC shareholders. And the last reason that she says that she believes will be an appeal will be the failure of notice. Now let me ask you a question. Do y'all know what the failure of notice means? That's right. Postcards. She's telling them AMC did not adequately notify all shareholders as instructed by the judge, and if the settlement goes through, that will be a reason for appeal. All 4 reasons, really good reasons why they should leave the status quo in place pending an appeal. But I'm going to tell you what. Notice the 3rd word in this document, preemptive. Okay? She is attempting to strike first before the settlement can be approved and before all of this bullshit can go through, and they end up giving us 1 for 7.5. Shut the fuck up. Anyway. This is why I say it's brilliant, people, is that she's narrowed it down now, her and Mr. Catella, her lawyer, and said, Your Honor, you need to pay particular attention to these 4 things, because if any one of these 4 things happen, then we're going to have grounds for appeal. Now, they did that nicely to the judge, all right? Whereas they're not attacking the judge and saying, you better rule the way we want to. No. In the rest of the argument here, or rest of the motion, as you can see, she starts the argument right there on page 3 as to why each one of these 4 things are going to be important that the judge pay attention to. One of them was the bond that AMC was wanting to put on Miss Izzo and her attorney, saying that they're going to have to come up with at least a quarter's worth of money for AMC to account for the loss to continue on this lawsuit. Their rebuttal, very simply, how come nobody else had to put up a bond? When the lawsuit started, why didn't they settle immediately? Or why didn't they deny the lawsuit and just say, piss on it, we don't want to mess with this? No, they wanted to hurry up and get this thing through, and they haven't paid attention to what the courts wanted them to do, and now Rose Izzo has banged them up, and in particularly this third one, which states the adequacy of the representation. Now, she's sitting back right now. She looked at that, and she's like, well, I need to evaluate, did Allegheny actually represent the class in a manner in which they were supposed to protect their due process? And I'm going to tell you what, people, the judge can choose any one of these 4 reasons to deny the lawsuit, put Rose Izzo's attorney, Mr. Catella, as lead counsel, and we move forward to trial. That's where we're at right now. This is really, really, really turning out good, people. The longer this thing can hold on, the better we are for the squeeze. They have to cover all 100% of the shorts that they've created. If the reverse stock split goes through, they will only have to cover 10%. So that's what this battle is all about. And Rose Izzo and her attorney has done a fantastic job. The way they move them chess pieces on the board and put this in front of the judge the way they have, saying, hey, you better check and make sure Allegheny's done a shitty job, and we will appeal when the time comes. So I believe this is leading up to Rose Izzo's attorney becoming lead counsel and her becoming lead plaintiff, and then they're going to represent the class, and then from there there'll be possible settlement talks between Izzo and her attorney and AMC. But most likely, I think they're wanting to go to trial and spank that ass and put Adam Aaron's ass where he belongs, and that's in jail. So there's your update on what happened in the court today. One other thing I want to show you is her exhibits. One thing that they brought out in this motion was the fact that AMC keeps crying, oh, we're going bankrupt, we got to do this now. And all of her exhibits, 10 pages, show there's no way AMC's fixing to go bankrupt, that the judge can take as much time as she needs to unravel all of this and get the record straight for us and give us some justice. So there you go. There's your update for Rose Izzo's motion for today. Looking forward to the judge coming up soon. She's going to be giving her thoughts on all this. So don't expect this shit to be done overnight, people. This is going to move on down the road until eventually Rose Izzo and her attorney becomes lead counsel and plaintiff. So with that, hope this encourages you. Love y'all. Be blessed. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm going to be talking about the great arbitrage lie. Okay? There's been a couple of YouTubers, I think 3 of them that I know of, that's been preaching this arbitrage to people, trying to get them to sell their AMC. We're going to talk about that in just a minute to go ape heavy. That's the next video. Don't miss it. Find out if you've been lied to and deceived. And I'll see you in the next video.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing